Hello, and welcome to Conversational English. I'm your host, Maya.
And I'm Sam. We're so glad you could join us.
Today, we're doing something a little different. We're taking our microphones out of the studio and into a real-world setting.
That's right. We are live from the Daily Grind, a lovely local coffee shop, to talk about functional English, specifically the kind you use in a place just like this.
We're going to cover two essential skills today: making polite requests, like ordering a coffee, and making small talk.
These are skills you'll use every single day, so let's get started. In fact, I'm feeling a bit thirsty. I think I'll order something right now.
Okay, perfect. So our first topic, polite requests. Sam, how are you going to get the barista's attention and place your order?
Well, first, I'll make eye contact and smile. Then, when it's my turn, I'll say something like, "Excuse me, could I please have a large iced Americano?"
Okay, let's break that down for our listeners. Could I please have is a fantastic phrase. It's polite, it's clear, and it's a question, not a demand.
Exactly. It's much softer and more polite than saying, "I want an iced Americano." Using want can sometimes sound a little too direct or even rude.
A little demanding.
Right. Another great alternative is "I'd like" or "I'll have." For example, "I'd like a croissant, please," or "I'll have the same as her."
Both are very common and polite. The key is to frame it as a request, not a command. What if the barista is busy and hasn't seen you? How do you get their attention?
That's a good question. You definitely don't want to yell, "Hey." A simple "excuse me" when they are looking in your direction is usually enough.
Right. And if they're clearly very busy, you could say, "Excuse me, when you have a spare moment." That shows you recognize they're working hard and you're willing to wait.
That's a really considerate phrase. Politeness is all about being considerate of other people.
Okay, so let's imagine a different request. What if you wanted to ask someone at another table if you could borrow a chair?
A great scenario. You would first say, "Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you." This apologizes for the interruption. Then you could ask, "Would you mind if I borrowed this chair?" Or, "Is anyone using this chair?"
Would you mind if is such a useful and polite structure for making requests that might inconvenience someone. It gives them an easy way to say no if they need to.
Absolutely. And remember to always say thank you. Whether you're ordering a coffee or borrowing a chair, a simple thank you goes a long way.
Okay, Sam has his coffee, I have my tea. We've successfully made our polite requests. Now for the next big topic, small talk.
Right. We can't just sit here in silence. That would be awkward and a very boring podcast episode.
Exactly. Small talk is the light conversation we use to build rapport with people. A great way to start is by commenting on your shared environment. For instance, "Wow, this place has a really great atmosphere, doesn't it?"
It really does. And I want to point out what you did at the end of that sentence, Maya. You added, "doesn't it?"
I did. For our listeners, that's called a tag question. It's when you add a short question to the end of a statement, like, "Isn't it?" "Don't you?" or "Right?" It's a friendly way to encourage the other person to respond.
It's a great tool for starting conversations. So, you've commented on the cafe. My job now is to agree and add a little more, then ask a question back to keep the conversation flowing.
Okay, show me.
This place has a great atmosphere, doesn't it? It really does. I love the music they're playing. So, how's your week been?
Perfect. You've used one of the most important rules of small talk. Ask questions. Specifically, you've asked an open-ended question.
Right. An open-ended question is one that doesn't have a simple yes or no answer. They usually start with words like who, what, where, when, why, and how.
So you asked, "How has your week been?" which is much better than, "Have you had a good week?" With the second question, I could just say yes and the conversation might stop.
With "How has your week been?" you have to give more detail. It invites a story.
It's been really busy, actually, but good. We launched a new project at work, and while I'm talking, it's the listener's job to... What, Sam?
To show they are actively listening, you can do this with small words and sounds.
Like what?
Like, uh-huh, right, wow, oh really? These little interjections show you're engaged and encourage the speaker to keep going. They're the glue of a good conversation.
Okay, so we've ordered our drinks politely, we've had some nice small talk, but now it's time to go. How do we end the conversation without being abrupt or rude?
This is another crucial skill. You need what we call an exit line. It's a phrase that politely signals that you are about to leave.
A signal.
A very common and effective one is to start with "well" or "anyway." These words signal a change in topic or the end of the conversation. So I could say, "Well, it was great catching up with you, but I should probably get going."
That's a classic. It has 3 parts. The signal word, well, a positive comment, it was great catching up, and the reason for leaving, I should get going.
Exactly. Another good one is, "Anyway, I won't keep you any longer." This is very polite because it implies that the other person is busy and you respect their time.
And a good response to an exit line is to acknowledge it and end on a positive, forward-looking note. Something like, okay, it was great to see you too. Let's do this again soon.
"Let's do this again soon," or "have a great rest of your day," are perfect ways to close the loop and leave everyone feeling good about the interaction.
But before we wrap up, there's one more area I think we should touch on, which is also very important in a cafe setting. What to do when things are great and what to do when they're not so great.
Oh, great point. Because real life isn't always perfect, is it? Sometimes your coffee is amazing, and sometimes, well, it's not quite what you ordered.
Exactly. So let's start with the good stuff. When something is really great, maybe the barista makes a beautiful latte art or the cake is just incredible, don't be shy about saying so. Giving a genuine compliment is a wonderful social skill.
Right. You could say something like, "This is absolutely delicious. Compliments to the chef." Or to the barista directly, "This coffee is perfect. Thank you so much." A simple, specific compliment like that can really make someone's day.
And notice how specific compliments feel more sincere. Instead of just saying, "it's good," saying, "this latte is so smooth and creamy," shows you actually noticed and appreciated the effort. It's much more meaningful.
Now, what about the flip side? What if something is wrong? Say, your order is incorrect, or your food arrives cold.
This is where a lot of English learners feel nervous, and that's completely understandable. But the key is to be polite and clear, not aggressive. You might say, "Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but I think there might be a small mistake with my order."
I love that. "I think there might be" is not accusatory at all. You're giving the staff a chance to help you without making them feel attacked or embarrassed.
Exactly. For something like cold food, you could say, "I'm so sorry to mention it, but my soup seems to have gone a bit cold. Would it be possible to have it warmed up?" Phrases like, "would it be possible?" or "I was wondering if," keep the tone soft and respectful.
And most staff will genuinely appreciate you raising it politely. It gives them a chance to make things right. Always better than just suffering through a cold bowl of soup in silence.
Exactly. Okay, I think that brings us beautifully to our recap. What a packed episode this has been.
It really has. So let's run through what we've covered today. First, polite requests. Use soft phrases like, "Could I please have?" "I'd like," or "I'll have," instead of a blunt "I want." And always include your please and thank you.
Second, small talk. Start by commenting on your shared surroundings. Use tag questions like doesn't it or isn't it to invite the other person into the conversation. And ask open-ended questions starting with who, what, where, when, why, or how to keep things flowing.
Third, active listening. Use small sounds and words like mm-hmm, oh really, right, and wow to show you're engaged. They might seem tiny, but they make the speaker feel genuinely heard and valued.
Fourth, exit lines. Signal the end of a conversation gracefully with words like well or anyway. Follow it with a warm, positive comment and close with something forward-looking, like let's do this again soon or have a wonderful rest of your day.
And fifth, our bonus skill today, compliments and raising issues politely. Be specific when you give a compliment and use soft, indirect language like, I think there might be, or would it be possible when something needs to be addressed? Politeness always wins.
These are all real, everyday skills. And the best way, honestly, the only way to get better at them is to actually use them. So next time you're at a coffee shop, a restaurant, or just chatting with a neighbor, try putting one or two of these into practice.
Even if it feels a little awkward at first, that's perfectly okay. Every conversation is a chance to learn. And if you make a mistake, just smile and keep going. That's how all of us get better, in any language.
Now, in our next episode, we're going to be stepping into another very common everyday setting, the workplace. We'll be covering how to greet colleagues, navigate office small talk, and handle situations like asking your boss for help or clarifying instructions. It's going to be a really practical one, so make sure you don't miss it.
I can't wait for that one. But for now, that is everything from us here at the Daily Grind. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Sam. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and we'll see you next time. If you enjoy what we are doing here, give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more on conversational English.